We're live. Yay!
Welcome to our. We haven't had a live for like a week, right? This is our first week back.
Yeah, for a while.
Welcome to our smelly old art classroom in which we meet every week or nearly every week to talk about anime. I'm here. My name's Phoebe, and I'm here with my wonderful, sweet, sticker adorned co-host.
Yeah,
He's
I've
got his
been
best stickers on.
Yeah, Finley said he loves these stickers, so he's gonna stick it on me because he loves me. So I cannot take them off legally now.
No, that's it. I think you can't take them off. Can't ever wash that shirt.
Luckily, I don't wash anyway.
Fair enough. And what are we doing this week, Chris?
Well, as you can probably tell, we're doing a little film that you recommended in celebration of Pride Month because it's got actual representation in it. Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, Tokyo Godfathers. And I was looking forward to this, but as I said to Chris just before we started, how nervous I was because sometimes when you recommend a film that you haven't seen for a while, there's a kind of, especially when we're going to talk about it on the pod, there's always like a frisson of like, oh, has it aged well? Is the animation as good as I remember? Is the story as weird and fun as I remember?
Is this rose-tinted glasses?
Yeah. Was it just that I'd never seen proper representation of trans humans in an anime film and therefore I immediately loved it? But does it actually, is it actually good? Yeah. So, don't keep me nervously, anxiously waiting. What did you think, Chris?
So, I liked it, but I didn't think it was the best anime I've ever seen.
Fair.
That's
fair.
The only thing I think I wasn't blown away by was the story. I love the characters, love the development, the backstories. I love the animation, the backgrounds, everything like that. It's a Christmas story, and I watched it in, what is it, June now?
June.
Yeah, June.
Yeah. In the middle of a heat wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe the timing could have been better. We should have had a Pride Christmas. Before we get into what the film's about, what have you got this week, buddy? What have you bought for Anime Club to share?
I definitely haven't just scratched around my desk to try to find something to eat, but at the minute I have two Werther's Originals coffee flavour. And, which I brought back from Egypt, I've got some Dubai chocolate. Everyone remember that fad?
Ooh. He's so bougie.
Look how thick it is. It's chunky.
It's crazy.
Hey.
He's a chunky boy with a chunky bar. Sorry, it felt right. I don't actually think you're that chunky.
Thanks.
I've gone weird with my snacks this week.
Right.
Because I went to Morrison's.
Yeah.
Specifically looking for this, these are crumbles. I don't know if you've had these before.
No.
You get them in Morrison's. Do you know the cheese snacks that we had in that meat box?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're like that, but like a kind of like little crumbly biscuit, but with like cheese, lots of cheese. They're great.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to look out for them.
Yeah. And then while I was doing that, I happened to walk down the pickle aisle and I bought myself some pickled eggs.
Did they not come in a jar? Or did they come
came in a jar. But I put them in it's a little bowl. I put them in a fancy little bowl because I didn't want you to see how empty the jar is, considering I only bought it a couple of hours ago.
True.
But I also bought some cornichons as well. So we're snacking on savouries this week. Have you got any fun drinks?
Just my normal Pepsi Max. But I just wanted to address something as well, because Paul in the chat said I thought he was keeping that for Phoebe's at SunnyCon. I've got two. I did get one specifically for Phoebe. And when I
And when he
mentioned
was
that I was just gonna eat the Dubai chocolate, Phoebe went, "Is that the one that you bought for me? You better not." So
I I went immediately from like 0 to 60. I got very aggressive and I was like, "Is that my chocolate?" Chris makes me sound much less bratty than it actually it actually was in real life.
I've recorded
Yeah.
it, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I didn't really.
Fair enough if you did. So yeah, so we've snacked up. I've also got like I was excited by this. I don't know if it's just that limited edition or what it says summer edition of a can of Red Bull. I haven't had a can of Red Bull in ages, but this one's white peach flavor
Mm,
and it comes in a pink can. So I feel like I've been marketed to.
yeah, yeah. The
So
yassification of Red Bull.
yeah. Exactly. So we'll start where we often start.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to describe this film to someone who'd never seen an anime film before,
Mm-hmm.
how are you describing it? What's the story? What's it about?
It's kind of a less tame episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia if they found a baby in the street.
And one of them was trans.
Was what? Trons?
Trans, yeah, trans.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
What about you?
I would describe it as three men and a baby, but men don't rule the world anymore. So, no,
Yeah.
I would say it is. I'd actually describe it as a story. It's a story of really about found family, coincidence,
Yeah.
and the importance of human connection. So these characters start off together, but very much like disconnected from their own history and their own life, and then
Yeah.
like slowly they learn to connect to each other because they find a baby, and they start to share their stories with each other, and they learn to reconnect to themselves and what kind of landed them as being homeless. Because I think that there are two things in this film. Like, it's a good representation of I think it's got some really, it's well, Miss Hannah and Mother are the two trans characters, and I think they're really well represented. It's not
Mm-hmm.
tokenistic, it's not overly indulgent and tragic. They're just like human beings making their way through the world.
Yeah.
But also it's a really interesting representation of homelessness, which both of those things make it sound very earnest. But it's actually quirky and weird as hell. And it's also, so the creator co-wrote the screenplay with the maker of Cowboy Bebop, and in exactly the same way that every time Cowboy Bebop starts to get a bit too serious, a bit too earnest, something wacky comes in and blows it out the water. And I think this film does exactly the same in terms of pacing, because actually you're right, the story is a bit weak. Not a lot actually happens. They
Yeah.
just spend a lot of time walking around Tokyo, but
The
it
actor.
is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I've noticed as well that sometimes it doesn't follow the normal story that you would think for a Christmas film. Like normally,
Mm,
when you think of a Christmas film, you think something bad happens or mildly bad, and then you have a happy ending afterwards. It concludes itself. But I
mm.
think back to there is a scene in this where there's Jin and an old man, and
Mm,
basically they are sleeping for the night, both drinking some alcohol. The old man's kind of like, "Woe is me! I'm dying. Um, can I have one last drink?" So they like start talking to each other for the night. Gets interrupted by a gang of kids that come in and beat that
mm.
absolute crap out of them. Um, and
Yeah,
I think the old man dies in this attack, and the kids just get away with it.
yeah.
They actually get a phone call or a message on the phone just saying, "Oh, by the way, there's a party happening here and there's going to be some girls here, so we're going to go." and you just
Mm.
see in another scene the old man's body getting taken away by an ambulance crew. Brown bread.
Yeah.
So it does like doesn't follow it exactly like that. So there's no like you don't know what's gonna happen, kind of.
Yeah. And it's not really like, so when I say it's not earnest, it's that there is no kind of like social justice message. I feel like it's just a more human thing. So it's not like it's not there to like give you some sort of morality.
Yeah.
um or be like, oh, treat everyone the same. um because actually people misstep as well in it all the time. And even though like you have these core three, Miyuki,
Mhm.
Hannah, and Gin,
Yeah.
they like they're mean to each other. Just like you are with your family. Do you know what I mean? They're not like super sweet to each other all the time, and they make mistakes with each other
Mhm.
throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
You know, and Miss Hannah gets misgendered all the time. And you see her having to like correct people, but what you notice are the characters who don't do it again. So there is also like this kind of, there is like a kindness and wanting to like love each other at the core of it, but they are mean, and you know they all have like very like gut wrenching reasons why they don't have any connection to their family or friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like even about the misgendering thing, I think that's because I mean you argue with your parents or your siblings or whatever all the time, or you do when you spend like 24/7 together.
Mm.
Um, and what took it too far was Miyuki called Hannah an old man, and she was just like, "You can call us old all you want, call us an old bag, but do not refer to us as a man." And from that point, she doesn't misgender. I don't think I cannot remember it anyway. Um,
No, and actually she does adjust the way so she starts addressing her as Miss Hannah,
yeah,
and Miss Hannah like notices the difference, and she's like, oh well, I'm trying. And
yeah,
that feels like very like a very family moment, I think.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
the way they're united, like there's Miyuki who's a runaway teen girl, Hannah who's a trans woman, and Jane, they kind of
Mm.
form like a dependent relation on each other. So Jin kind of, I, I don't know, he always ends up having drink. Hannah has money, and Miyuki kind of does the running around. So she'll go into the shops and she'll do stuff, like I don't know, begging and stuff. I'm not too sure. I
Yeah.
didn't really go into that. So I think that's what ties them together initially, and then the form that actually, yeah, Hannah's a person, Jin's a person. He might be a alcoholic gambling addict, but he's been there and he's provided for us. I'm sleeping in his tent at the minute, so
Yeah.
kind of have to respect that relationship or him as a person. And all
Yeah.
of them
Yeah.
are homeless, so they see themselves as equals.
Yeah. And actually I think they see each other as more than them. Like all of them have like some kind of like, oh, like chink in their armor that makes them not see themselves as like an, or it stops them from being able to move on. But yeah, no, it's a really good one. I was pleased after we watched it. I was like, oh no, I enjoyed revisiting it. But you're right, it is a Christmas film. So it's, add it to your Christmas roster. Now might not be the time, but definitely
Yeah,
add it to your Christmas roster, I think.
it's kind of like
Also,
watching a home. Oh, sorry.
talking of family vibes, I also do just have to. I've seen my Sib Soph who's just popped up in the chat, so I just have to be like, hi. So thanks for coming, Soph.
Oh,
Chosen
and
family,
Phoebe.
yeah, and they've just said chosen family is a very gay subject matter, which we love. We do, and I think this is Pride Month. We did choose this film deliberately for Pride Month.
Mm,
And a big thing for a lot of the queer community is like having a chosen family, finding your people for the first time. And you definitely see the way people like wrap their arms around each other
mm,
in this. So like at one point, like Gin gets like attacked. So it's after those hoodlums attack him with the old man, and he's like just like drags himself into an alley where like outside of a club, and he's just like there, but it turns out to be Mother who knows Miss Hannah, because Miss Hannah used to perform at the club. So that like because Gin knows Miss Hannah, they he becomes part of that chosen family as well. They like bring him in and look after him and patch him up.
Even though he stinks.
Yeah. Even though he really stinks, which is a thing throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think of the animation style? Because there's a interesting contrast between characters and background, I think.
Just gonna pick up another square of chocolate there. Yeah, for 2003, I think it blew us away. Really, the backgrounds look like a step off a photo. They look amazing.
Yeah.
Everything's moving in the background as well. So I thought it was interesting how a lot of the non-main characters, I know normally you can tell who the main character is in a room, but like the members of the public, the crowd that are going past them are really darkened down, which kind of I don't know if it was on purpose because he is homeless and everyone's ignoring them because they're doing all of these things, they're hanging about in shops and on the train and that, and no one's paying attention to them. It's like they're invisible, and I don't know if that was a choice because he was homeless, because these three were homeless, or because it was easier to animate. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting, and they play around with color a lot in this because there are also moments where the characters almost seem to like be very glowy, as a way of like making people pop out of a very photorealistic background. What have you just put in your mouth? The Dubai chocolate?
So
you're making a face like maybe it's okay if you eat my bar. Like, am I gonna like it?
So I was thinking, why is it?
Do you think Dubai chocolate comes from from an egg? What are you on about?
No, from the because it's got pistachio mush in it, hasn't it?
Oh,
So
a pistachio.
if you pistachio shell.
Yeah, I think it also has like phyllo pastry and stuff in it, so that's probably what the crunch is.
Oh, it's too posh for me.
Yeah.
This.
There's too much texture in my mouth. I can't handle it.
Oh,
Give me chips and gravy.
The coffee Withers original is banging though. It's nice.
Okay, there we go. We've hit Chris's comfort level.
Put another one of them in out.
Nice. Yeah, no, I love it. And another thing that I thought was really interesting, because I did go and I actually looked up some facts this week, which I don't normally do. Normally we just like chat about it, but I thought I was kind of got a bit curious about it. And so the director wanted to really push like the limits of like he saw it as an acting exercise in terms of how they animate the faces, and it's something that I think again is so stylized and so exaggerated against the photorealistic backdrop as well, is another way that I think those characters pop. But he also worked, like one of his first jobs was working on, and I'm saying this mostly for Jake because I can see him in the chat, was working on the OVA for JoJo. So in terms of like exaggeration, that's like he started in the school of high camp and then moved on to feel like Perfect Blue and stuff, and then this and Paprika and other films. So there was obviously always like a kind of stylized school of animating. Which I think is interesting.
It kind of reminded me, it was even Miyuki, when you first see her, she kind of grimaces, and it's kind of like that, like over the top. And it reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever had, do you know when people test for like ADHD or something and they hold up the cards with the face expressions on? See, I've done it with Finley. It's like, what is this? And there's like a smiley face, and you're like, oh, it's a smile. Or like an over exaggerated person smiling. It kind of reminders that. So I definitely see that. There's some horrible crying faces in this as well.
And also I really like that, like, so much of anime is like fan service and gorgeous characters. I really love that these characters are just put, like, just really, like, almost grotesque at times. Yeah, like the crying, for example.
Yeah.
Every
Proper.
time Miss Hannah cries, I live.
It
Because
is a
it's just
proper.
it's so ugly.
Molly would describe it as like
Yeah.
ugly crying.
Yeah. It is very much that. In the best way. um Yeah, it's really good. And the other thing that I also learned is that there is, not only is it trans representation in terms of the characters, you have like trans representation in terms of the actors voicing. So Miss Hannah is voiced by a trans actress, and so is Mother, and is voiced by one of my like all-time queer icons, Kate Bornstein, who's like a gender non-conforming performance artist and writer.
Right.
And I like, well, I had no idea, and when I saw that I was like, oh my god, it feels so good. It just feels like through and through. Thanks, Soph, they are good nails. That's a sibling right there. Oh yeah, Chris doesn't have nails.
Oh yeah.
And he won't let me stick I've already asked if I could stick them on or give him a manicure, and he was like, no. It'd be ruined at work.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't grab things.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't know how
It's
you
not a thing.
like wipe your bum and stuff. Be good for picking
That
winnets
is
off
the.
though.
Do you know what? I wipe my bun exactly the same way you do.
On your sock.
I don't.
Oh.
I just let it air dry. Oh, gross. Um, so what are your kind of like favorite moments of the film? What stood out
Um.
to you?
I kind of like the stupid moments, like finding the yakuza boss under his own car. Uh, the
Mm.
when they're going on the tube and they realize that Gin or Jin absolutely reeks, and the whole carriage
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
like, oh, get off, man. And I kind of like the sad moments where the old man dies.
Mm.
So
I
I
like it
don't.
when Gin thinks the old man dies, and he tries to do that thing where they're like, rest in peace, and then the old man's eyes open again and he's like, give me another drink. um yeah, I really love the Miss Hannah flashback when you see her in her prime doing the
Yeah,
drag performance. I thought that was gorgeous. I also really love I love the way they animate Mayuki. I think it's so, like, I love the big hat, the massive coat, the way her face, like, sometimes all you see of her face is like this much,
hmm
and yet she's so expressive with just that part of her face.
yeah.
Yeah,
See,
I really
I
liked that.
I thought that was because
Pardon
she's
me.
running away from our parents basically, and
Yeah.
our dad is a policeman. So I thought she covered as much as her face as she could, not just because it's cold and it's snow and it's winter time, just to hide her face. So
Yeah. Yeah. Hide her face, no one can recognize her, and she can stay warm.
yeah, after
Yeah,
she
yeah. I
does that
also
to her
really
dad.
loved the yeah. I also really loved the scenes when they're in their little cardboard box home. Um there's something about just the way that those are kind of contained. They almost look like little nativity sets, but it's just
Yeah.
all junk and mess.
T-
Um
to be fair, I think
yeah,
that's what they were going for because it's like the baby in the
I
manger in the
reckon.
middle with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Virgin Mary Hannah. I don't know.
Yeah. and and the kind of stepdad vibes.
Yeah,
in Kin.
stepdad bringing frankincense.
Yeah. I also like absolute heartbreak when uh there's a moment, so this is massive spoilers. There's a moment when um Miss Hannah like deliberately is cruel to Gin because she's trying to get him to like go back and talk to his daughter. So she's
Mhm.
like, oh, I have to like push him away, and kind of like make him be honest to his daughter in order to like for him to have a better life. And there's a moment where she tells like a fairy tale to explain why she's doing that, and that bit like broke my heart. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, so good.
Yeah, because
Um,
Gin's like
yeah,
a habitual liar. He'll tell any story
yeah,
to get sympathy, so people either give him money or trust him enough to like for them to help him, etc. Like a
yeah.
stereotypical bum. Um, and with all these lies, he's even lied to Hannah and Miyuku. And it's like when he meets his daughter, Hannah's just like, right, I cannot let him
Can't,
speak to his daughter and spout more lies. So she kind of outs
yeah,
him, and she's just like,
yeah.
oh,
She
he's
does.
actually this and this.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, you did this, and um, like your daughter needs to know this about you. Yeah,
It's
heartbreak.
it's hard. I was gonna say it, but then someone in the chat, oh, I haven't seen it yet. I was like, I know it's from 2003, but I don't want to leave a big spoiler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
20 odd years old, but I'll leave some secrets.
Well, we'll we'll try. Who would you say is your favorite character? Who's the person that you're rooting for the most?
Uh, Probably Hannah.
Me
It's a
too.
mixture between Hannah and the baby. Because like, it's like
Can't
just
not
wants a
root for a
home.
baby at Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Christmas in June. But there's like
yeah.
they do find this baby. It's weird the reactions, but the character development in Hannah, where obviously
Mm,
so the dumps are diving for food or whatever they can find. Then they find this abandoned baby, and then Hannah's just like, I've always wanted to be a mother. I've fantasized about all my life, and that's something that I could never do. So she's like, this baby's mine, and they're all like,
this baby's
what
a
the
gift from God for me.
yeah, it's like, and
Yeah,
they're like, what the fuck? Just take it to the police.
yeah, yeah.
So she
And there
goes
is a
from,
very
oh sorry,
oh sorry. No, I was just gonna say there's a funny callback later where she finally decides to and Mayuki's like, we've been telling you to go to the police the whole time.
yes, but actually, it was the
Sorry,
next
but she
point I was gonna say.
yeah.
She gets to the point where she's just like, actually, I never knew my mother or my
Mm,
parents. Miyuki's got her own daddy issues. They just this baby deserves to be with his parents. I'm going to put
mm,
its needs above my own, and try to reunite it with his parents, which maybe wasn't a good idea. And then two, I should after that take it to the police,
yeah. Yeah,
which
yeah.
is
I think Miss Hannah shows the most growth and also genuinely out of all of those people, if they were real people, I would want to spend time with Miss Hannah the most because I think Miss Hannah is the kindest person in this film. Um because through all of it and she takes no shit. So she doesn't let Gin lie to her and gets angry and kind of like expresses all of that very articulately, but she doesn't let that stop her from trying to do right by him. So there's
yeah,
something incredibly like, yeah, there's some kind of like deep kindness to Miss Hannah where I'm like, oh, yeah, I want Miss Hannah to like, I want Miss Hannah to rub me on the back and tell me it's going to be okay, and then tell me to pull my shit together.
So just to confirm, you want a homeless woman to rub you on the back, tell you it's going to be okay.
And then tell me to pull my shit together.
Well,
I
fair
don't think
enough.
that's unreasonable. When you say it like that, it sounds weird. It's not any homeless person. It's Miss Hannah.
Sorry, that Dubai chocolate is quite nice. I'm glad I bought it cheap though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be
Um,
paying the mental prices. But do you know
now that you've
for
got used to the texture sensations.
yeah, Now I know it's not like crunchy worms or something inside a
Yeah, yeah.
shell, but do you not think Miss Hannah's problems all could have been resolved with tiny, tedious little bit of communication?
So I think all of their problems could be resolved with more communication. I think that's kind of the point, because they're all there because of decisions that they've made,
Mm.
and more importantly, things that they're conversations they're refusing to have, and they don't, because like Mayuki's refusing to talk to her father about what happened. Gin refusing to talk to his daughter about what happened. Miss Hannah's, though, the easiest problem to solve. Because, yeah, at some point you realise that Miss Hannah literally at any moment could
Shot a text,
yeah,
sent a little
could have
message. Are we okay?
send a little message,
Yeah.
be all good. No one's holding a grudge against Miss Hannah. Yeah, but I also think she's a character kind of stuck in grief as well. Because you find out that she's had like a significant loss in her life.
What about that? Right.
Yeah.
That explains the mental decisions.
Yeah, so I think there's an element of like that having kind of like put her into a space, and the fact, and her being able to let go of the baby and wanting to try and like find the home for the baby, I think is also a bit about her being able to let go of that grief in a way. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah.
Everyone, Paul's saying I'm never going to get my Dubai chocolate bar, and Sophie's just said I'm gonna have to end up paying a premium if I ever want to try it.
Honestly, I do have a second bar here that might last.
Oh, who
These
knows?
hot...
We'll see. We'll find out. Do you know what? We'll find out this time next week.
Will we? Because we've already pre-recorded next week.
Because we've already pre-recorded next week. And why have we done that, Chris? This is a beautiful segue, by the way.
Yeah. Because right now, what is it? Friday at 8:30. We will probably be getting drunk right now in Newcastle on the
Yeah,
eve of SunnyCon.
exactly. And the good people at SunnyCon, the wonderful Donna, has given us 2 free tickets. Go get your hat, Mayuki.
Yeah. I've got my cowboy hat.
Yeah, which is appropriate because I think it does look a bit like the hat that Mayuki has. And what we've done is we on Instagram, we asked people to comment on our last video that we did with the wonderful Jake on Mashal. I still don't know how to say it. We asked them to comment and tell us why they love anime. And then we put all of their names into this wonderful hat that Chris is jiggling. And Chris is going to draw out a winner for us. So, can we get a drum roll, please? Hey.
I think that's the wrong kind of drum.
Yeah.
So it's another underscore Weibel. Oh, can you even see that?
So congratulations, another underscore Weibel. You are the winner of tickets. We will reply after this. Chris or I will get in touch with you. We'll reply to your comment in on YouTube, and then if you could let us know where we can send your tickets to, or where we can direct message you.
Yeah, because all we need is their email, and then we put them down. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, but we might not want to blast that in the comments, so we might say like what's your Instagram handle or something.
Yeah, prove it by doing a dance.
Yeah. Don't do that. If Chris asks you to dance, don't do it. You don't need to do it. Your tickets are yours.
I cannot be trusted. That's why I don't run the Instagram.
Exactly. So we'll find a way to get your email. Congratulations. You've got 2 tickets to SunnyCon. And thank you again to the wonderful organisers of SunnyCon for offering and letting us do this with them, because it's we love anime. The whole reason we're doing this is because we want more people to embrace anime, and conventions are part of that. So it's a match made in absolute heaven.
I'm gonna probably gonna make Phoebe eat either a really spicy pepper, a century egg, or something else that's
I'm
weird.
not eating I refuse to eat the century egg. I will eat the spicy pepper, but the century egg just feels too dicey in an convention environment where you might have to queue for the loo.
Part of the fun. I'll bring a century egg, some tenors.
Nope.
Do they? They're nappies, aren't they? Tenors. Anyway.
No. Are
Ah,
there like a tenor lady pad? Are
yeah.
you talking about tenor lady where you have like women in there
Are they for front
going through
problems or back
menopause,
problems?
like running along jetties and walking beside lakes,
Yeah.
laughing freely? I think they're for like incontinence issues, yeah, but like front bum, not back bum.
Ah,
Yeah.
gaffer tape then. I'll think of something.
I'm not letting you gaffer tape my bum up again. We talked about this after the last time.
It's unclean.
Um, it's unclean and I don't like the way you shine a light on me while it happens.
Oh, thanks, Vivi, for sending a message. We'll comment
Oh,
anyway.
that's
Just for
amazing.
the best handle we can reach them on, like Instagram or Facebook or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that'd be great. Um, so we're pre-recording because we'll be at SunnyCon. So next week we're going to be doing we're doing
Oh,
what is it? I trans
is it Alfie in the
this it
chat?
is the hey. Oh, Alfie in the chat. Brilliant. Awesome.
Right.
So next time we're going to be doing I turned into a vending machine and now I wander the dungeon.
Yeah. Surprisingly good.
so, so I was stunned. I go in with low expectation, folks, but that's what we'll be doing next week, and we had quite a good time. And then, the week after that, which we're also pre-recording, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be doing Dandadan.
Oh yeah, Dandadan.
Dandadan.
Do you know what it is? I know we
Yeah.
recorded it the other day, but my head's just gone. It's this heat.
It's the heat. Yeah. So we're going to be doing Dandadan after that, and then we'll be back with lives again. But we're taking a little break first, which would be nice. However, while we're enjoying our time at the con, you can still on Nerdy Up North. This is where I get my professional. Welcome to Nerdy Up North. Previously and on other channels, you can see Monsters doing Repo on Monday. Wonk have a Buffy episode coming up, which I think will be really fun. Top
Tomorrow.
Grumps, you guys are... Huh? Oh, is it tomorrow? Is Buffy tomorrow? Oh my god, you don't even have to wait that long. How exciting. Top Grumps, you guys are doing Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors 3,
Do,
so that's like the third one.
do you know why we're doing that? Because Lee was
No.
listening to, the Dokken song, Dream Warriors. He was listening to that just before, and he was like, I really like that song. Let's do the film. That's the reason. That's how we choose our films.
He's incredibly suggestible. We can't let him wander off on his own.
He sees a billboard and he'll be buying tenors, all sorts.
Buying all the things, or he'll just be like going into someone's van. We just have to make sure that we keep. He's precious cargo. We need to hold
Buffy's
on to
next
him.
Saturday, sorry.
Buffy's next Saturday, great. Rumblecast have just done Capital Combat 90, which is the one where RoboCop shows up. So they do that live. They stream that live on the Twitch. I think you can still watch it on Twitch, but it'll be on the YouTube as well, I'm sure. And then tomorrow we do have Countdown to Doomsday, Thor Ragnarok. So you have to wait a week for Buffy, but you don't have to wait a week for Countdown to Doomsday. So there's always something good going on. So give us a follow, give us a subscribe. What's it called on YouTube? A subscribe. Give us a like. Send us some comments if you've got some recommendations of what you'd like to see us do. Then please leave us a comment, and also go and follow Chris and I over on Instagram if you want to see our antics. We're going to meet in the flesh for the first time. Ooh.
Seeing in the flesh is weird. Also, I'm
No.
weirdly looking forward to it because you're like 7'3" and I'm 5'4".
It's gonna be amazing. It's like we've had
Oh,
3 men and a baby. Now we've got like twins.
what's standing next to each
I'll
other
be
like
Arnold.
that?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh,
great. So no, it'll be fun. I'm slightly worried that Chris will decide that he hates me when he meets me in person because I'm like this, but all the time.
we'll
So it
find
might be a lot.
out.
But we'll find out, and we'll probably record it on Instagram. So go give us a follow over there as well, and you can keep up to date with when things are happening. Thanks very much, everyone.
But cheers. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, and stick around. There's push-ups.